If you are anxious about the stock market and what stocks to invest in right now, then this is the video for you because yes, I understand the stock market is both up and down depending on the day that you're looking and mostly because of tariffs. But here is the thing, there is a lot, and I mean a lot of value sometimes in the stocks that you don't notice. And in this video, I am going to cover some of my favorite small cap stocks that you want to add to your watch list right now. Let's go ahead and break it down. So first, what is a small cap stock? Normally we have three categories of stocks. We have large cap, also known as blue chips. These are the name brand companies. Also, many would consider these some of the safer companies. This is your Apples, Microsoft, so on and so forth. Then you have your medium-sized companies, also known as mid caps. These are companies trying to work their way into that blue chip category. And then you have your small cap companies. These are obviously smaller companies trying to move their way up, but also they have the ability to grow, and that is the biggest thing here. I've mentioned this before. McDonald's is already on every corner. They're already an international company. They can't get much bigger. However, the smaller mom and pop shop, let's say, I don't know, In-N-Out, it's not mom and pop, but you guys get the point. It's very regional. It can still grow. A Cookout in North Carolina, it's smaller, it's regional. It can still grow versus a McDonald's, y'all already there, right? So that is what we are looking at here, and here is the list. The first one here is Carpenter Technology Corp. Now, the stock at the time I'm doing this video is up 20% in the last 6 months and up 115% over the last year. They're in the manufacturing space. They do steel and a bunch of other alloys and other materials. Now, it's quite interesting. Again, number one, they have the ability to grow a lot more than something that's already in that blue chip space. I'm curious, keyword curious, as to how tariffs are going to help this particular company. Now, the tariffs on steel, to my understanding, are something that can actually help a company like this. Now, the question is, are the tariffs going to be stable enough to do so? We'll see. But the other upside here is the company's up 115% over the last year. So this is not, keyword, this is not something that's been happening just in 2025. It has been something that has been a bit more prolonged. So add to your watch list, definitely take a look at the tariff situation around steel and around the type of materials that they make and how that is going for this particular company. All of these, again, are small cap. We're looking for places that everybody has overlooked, and that is the purpose of these particular stocks. Next one is Mr. Cooper's. The stock symbol here is COOP, which I think is kind of funny, C-O-O-P. They're up 30% in the last 6 months, up 55% over last year. They're in the mortgage lending business. Now, initially, if you were to just ask me mortgage lending in 2025, do you think that this industry would do well? Well, earlier this year, I did think that financial stocks were going to do well. This is not one that was really on my radar for obvious reasons. It's more small cap. It's not where I normally focus my attention. But yes, this one has done well, and there has been some signs as this becoming more of a buyer's market, meaning those who have money to buy homes, things may be coming to you, which is quite interesting. Something I'm interested in digging a bit more into. They were also recently acquired by Rocket Money, or Rocket Mortgages to be more specific. So we're going to see how that plays out and where that goes down the line. This has obviously helped the stock boost up a bit more, and that deal is expected to be done by the end of 2025. So end of this year. We'll see how that is going to change things. Quick time out. I know we've been talking a lot about investing today. However, if you don't know where to start or you haven't started yet, I have a free guide on how you can buy your first stock in just 20 minutes. To get that free guide, check out the link right here. All right, back to the video. We also know that this can take a while, though this is a new administration. We talked about Discover and, what was it? Discover and Capital One. Doing that merger, that is official. Everybody got notifications last week and emails last week about that going through. Though the stocks did move and change over that time, so there may still be some runway here for COOP between now and then. So this may be more short term, but there may still be some value there. Even after a company has announced an acquisition or a merger, it doesn't always mean that the stock just vanishes. Okay, so it is doing well right now. It may still continue to have some runway there. Next, we have Mercury Systems. The stock symbol here is MRCY, up 16% in the last 6 months, up 55% over last year. This is the one in the industry that I've been talking about for a while now. Aerospace and defense. That has been one of the few places this year that has been relatively reliable as you can be in the market. Okay, and there is a lot of asterisks there because the market can be shaky for obvious reasons. But again, up 55% over last year, being up 16% in a market like this is quite good. But it is obviously on the smaller side. If you want something that is bigger and quote unquote more reliable, then you have Honeywell, HWM, which is one I invest in currently and one I've been talking about for quite a while. Again, when I say more reliable, we're talking in the context of the stock market, not talking about something like a savings account. So I want to make sure that you know the context there, okay? Because nothing is guaranteed in the market, and smaller cap stocks are more risky. So I want to make sure that we all know that, the context there. The next one here is quite interesting. Pitney Bowes. The ticker symbol here is PBI. I don't know why P and B together makes me think of peanut butter and jelly, but I guess we know why. But PBI is the ticker symbol here. They're in the logistics space. The stock is up 26% in the last 6 months and up 96% in the last year. Now, on my notes here, there is an asterisk because there are three, as I'm thinking about it, three very important things that you need to know about Pitney Bowes. Okay. Yes, the stock is doing well now, and it has a lot of good things going for it, okay? This is a stock that I would be willing to put my own money into, and it is one that it has a very good candidate for covered calls. If you don't know what covered calls are and how I've made thousands of dollars using covered calls, you can check out this video right here on how I've done it. However, I like to give you context of the pros and the cons. All right, so number one, right now the stock is, at the time I am doing this video, I'm doing this on Tuesday the 27th, so this is fresh. The stock was right around $10 to $11. Now, I don't like investing in penny stocks, which is at $5 and below. Okay, so that tells you it was recently a penny stock several months ago. So it came out of penny stock category. Number one, can it go back to penny stock category? Possible. Okay, so that is possible. Since number one. Number two, for Pitney Bowes, it has appeared to recover. So if you look at a long-term stock chart for Pitney Bowes, it peaked in 2021, fell off a cliff, and then started to recover in 2022. And from 2022 to now, it is a very long recovery from a stock market perspective. And this appears to be not a short-term, oh, we're just popping in 2025. It looks like they have made some structural changes, and this is a long-term thing that they are doing, which gives me a bit more confidence. It's not something where they just appear to do well right now out of nowhere. It looks like, no, we've been doing this for quite a while. This is 3 years of solid and consistent growth, and now they're above $10 finally. They're popping up on my radar. So those are just a few things that you may want to be aware of. Would I do cover calls on it just yet? Probably not until it gets into like $15 or $20 per share, just to make me feel better, and because my risk tolerance is a bit different, and just because the tariff thing can really swing things left to right. Now, if it's at $10, I'll wait until $20. I'm really paying double, so I may have to actually rethink that, because if I think the stock is good now, why in the world would I wait to pay double? It doesn't actually make that much sense as I say it out loud. So I might just buy the stock and then see whether or not I want to do cover calls or not. So we will do the math on that, because, you know, the stock has been moving up for quite a while. But do your research on that one, because that one could be a hidden gem that has finally started to get some positive momentum that makes sense for more investors than what it previously may have in the past. Universal Technical Institute is our next stock. The stock symbol is UTI. Do yourself a favor, and when you look up this stock, look it up in your investing app. You don't want to just Google it. You don't want to do that. I did that myself, and yeah, you don't do that. Not unless you type in UTI stock. Okay, I made that mistake. All right, so the stock is up at the time we're doing this video 37% in the last 6 months and up 133% over the last year. Now, this is interesting because they are more vocational colleges, which is something I would say many people have been begging for because not everybody has to go to the expensive 4-year college route. Now we're getting more momentum and I would say public consciousness around the importance of trade schools and why we actually need both, right? We need trade schools, we need plumbers, electricians, and people who do things with their hands, and we also need doctors and academics and teachers. We need both, and I think it's important, and I think it's the reason why a company like that is starting to surge. You're also seeing the administration, I don't like the way they're doing it, but you're seeing the administration proposing that they are looking to take, I think it was $3 billion from Harvard and put it into a trade school program. I'm not here to defend the richest college on earth, or at least in the United States, but investing more money in trade schools, I think, is a very good move and a reason as to why a company like UTI is doing quite well. And again, the focus should also be there. Now, I don't think you have to take from one to the other, but whatever, right? The result is the result. So it is a company that I would absolutely keep my eye on. Now, with all that being said, do keep in mind this, okay? I want to cover both sides. Small cap companies are important. Okay, diversification is important. All right, small cap, they give you the, the rocket fuel. They can give you the rocket fuel to your portfolio, and they're usually companies that are completely overlooked. However, they do carry a little bit more risk, and because a company like Walmart, they can take a hit. Right? A company like Tesla done been through a lot, but they still here. Right? They can lose billions and billions of dollars and still be here. Some companies, right, and some of these, I picked some of the biggest small cap stocks. It's kind of, sort of an oxymoron or whatever, but some of these don't have billions and billions to lose. So be careful. What I would not do is say, I'm just investing in small caps only. I would argue that you need small cap plus maybe some index funds, plus maybe some large cap stocks, and really build you a holistic portfolio so that you are good, right? So that you are prepared for whatever the rest of this year throws at you. If you want to know some other ways to build a portfolio as well as what to put in a holistic portfolio, then this is the video you want to check out next.